We're going to be talking about our thoughts on Elder Scrolls 6 in general. To start the podcast off, I'd like to go ahead and give our normal disclaimer. This is lore based on my understanding. It is maybe canon or may not be, etc., etc.
And also on the understanding of another podcast guest that we have right now.
Yeah, we have a guest on. Hello, guest.
Oh, hello. Any lore I say is not canon. I will deliberately be lying to our audience.
Fair enough.
Deception.
The dragon break. Fight me.
Yeah, Coda makes it canon.
That's right.
So to start us off, a small little lore dump, as is required. Part of my job.
Customary ritual.
Yeah. I figured today, since we're discussing the new Elder Scrolls, we might discuss Kalpas, which are... it's not going to be a very long lore session because they're not that complicated. They come from Hindu mythology. Disclaimer, I am not a religious expert. And they basically mean that the recreation of the destroyed world. So in Elder Scrolls, this manifests in Redguard culture as Satakal, who is the snake Ouroboros eating its own tail, and when it sheds its skin, basically that's the start of the end, and then the beginning of the new Kalpa. The Nords think that Alduin is was what destroyed the previous Kalpa and will eventually destroy this Kalpa as well. And Todd Howard leaving is going to destroy the Kalpa of Elder Scrolls games.
People are saying in the chat, yo, what's up? What are your thoughts on Dragon Breaks? I personally don't like them and think they're pothole fillers. For the Dragon Breaks, check out our previous episode. But basically, yes, they are basically plot hole fillers.
Yeah, they're plot hole fillers. How do I feel on them personally? You know, I kind of like them and I kind of don't. I like them because it adds a very interesting twist to the world that I feel like most other fantasy genres don't really have. It's a way to rectify time shenanigans, which is fair. Overall, man, would I say that it would have been worse or better without a Dragon Break? I don't know. I'm kind of ambivalent on them. There are things I don't like, and there are things that I do.
Why did they make make High Elves so OP and make the Thalmor the worst?
Probably because
are they the worst?
Who are the worst?
I mean, it depends on your outlook, really. Now, this is just a theory, not actually in-game lore, but it's probably what's happening. Is that the Thalmor are trying to bring down all of the towers of Mundus to return the world to its original, like, spiritual source. I personally think that's true. I'm not saying that the lore supports it yet.
Oh, hello,
but
Biale.
It seems like the type of thing.
I don't want to be that guy, but I don't know if the Thalmor are worse than Molag Bal's infernal servants.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, Molag Bal is worse than pretty much anything in the existence of the Orbis. Like...
Kind of
I don't know if I'd say they're the worst, but...
Kind of a tangent, but Connor, did you almost call him Moral Bal? Because I was gonna say he's anything but moral.
More Moral Bal. Yeah, Molag Bal, the paragon of morality, in a way.
Well, yes. I mean, again, it depends on your outlook, I suppose.
Right?
Actually, that's funny. Molag Bal. I don't know if we'll probably do an episode on each Daedric Prince, but as a small aside, Molag Bal is said to have been the Drew. I think it's Drew.
Dre.
King Dre. Thank you. Of the previous Kalpa Lig.
Mm-hmm.
Ligma? I'm sorry.
Ligma.
And then I guess his cruelty in that universe made him even more powerful in the next universe. I guess he just got rewarded for it.
He became
It's a pretty
Massive
step
torture
up.
god dub.
Yeah.
He became so powerful.
So I guess I would say to the question, is Elder Scrolls 6 the last Elder Scrolls game? I am going to assume that it is the last good Elder Scrolls game, and that actually does not, in fact, involve the fact that Todd Howard is leaving. I've expressed this opinion prior to learning that he was stepping down. I think it's going to be the last one that's actually tolerable. I feel like if they make more after 6, it's just going to constantly be refined down to simple, like, not even worth playing at that point. I mean, Oblivion got rid of certain benefits that Morrowind had, and then Skyrim got rid of benefits like, make your own spells and, enchant, like, the whole thing just gets dumbed down.
They're just leaving it up to the modders. But by the way, people are surprised.
Yeah.
Yes, Todd Howard is indeed leading the what's it called? He is leaving
the game industry in general, apparently.
Yeah, because
not just stepping down from Bethesda.
Yeah, that's the news.
I know. I didn't know that before today too, Gamer Templar. So you and I were both pretty surprised around the same time.
Also, someone was asking what's our opinion on the Stormcloak and the Empire War. Well,
Unpopular opinion.
Can I say what I did?
Sure.
By all means.
The very first time I played Skyrim, I was like going in there, and I was like, oh, I knew about the plot a little bit, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna support the Empire. I'm gonna support the Empire. The Empire are my homies. There's no way something might make me hate the Empire. And they try to execute me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, no. Stormcloaks.
Imperial nationalism from my man Zake.
I was like, no,
personally, as an Ash vampire and resident lore speaker, I'm gonna go with the Stormcloaks on this one, and here's why. Mongrel Imperial dogs. I think that says enough.
Based.
Plus, if you split Skyrim off from the Empire, then it's easier for Morrowind to come in and conquer it.
Morrowind is not in no shape to conquer anything right now.
No, probably not.
More like a war profiteer, Connor. Man.
No, obviously both sides are... I mean, I guess the Stormcloaks are a little more outwardly racist, but the Imperials are almost no better. I mean, there's a lot of shit they've done wrong as well when it comes to relations with non-human.
I would never choose Stormcloaks because they're racist and fanatic. Interesting. Ulfric needs to get a grip. I guess we we're causing a stir in the chat. Why don't you press?
What are you asking the Empire question? You're gonna cause a stir in chat, man.
Why
These
don't
guys will eat us alive.
Why don't you guys press the like button, subscribe, and write your opinions in the parchment below? And only if you're financially available, like you actually have good finances, you can consider the donation. But for the most part, we're interested in likes and subscriptions and comments, right, Connor?
Yes, those help the channel grow, and it makes us feel good to see your comments.
Yes.
Even the critical ones, although nobody has yet told me after commenting what they would like us to change, so I'm not entirely sure what the problem is for them. But like, if you have critical comments, please feel free to expound.
Yes. By the way, next thing that I want to address is like let's get on topic with the Elder Scrolls 6. It's like again, why is the opinion that like it might be the last one? Like you said, the last good one. You said, but like,
yeah,
but is there a possibility that's
think
the last one, like at all?
Maybe. I mean, it's taken them what 12 years now. We've been waiting 12 years for the next Elder Scrolls game, and they're only just now getting production done. So I do not see Bethesda pumping out a seventh Elder Scroll.
Man, I've got a take on this. You want to hear this?
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead.
Right. I think that since Microsoft owns Bethesda now, what's going to happen is Todd Howard's going to retire, and then Microsoft is going to push the IP on other studios to make games.
Oh no, you're probably right. No.
I'm so certain of it. And on one hand, yes, your oh no's are totally within the realm of validity here. But on the other hand, can you imagine like a really good studio full of some really and what I'm saying right here is a pipe dream, but a really good studio getting a hand of the Elder Scrolls IP, who it's full of people who really love the series. Like you could get some really good stuff out of it.
Yeah,
that's true, but we would have to hope on.
You're gonna get some stinkers for sure. That's definitive.
Yeah.
But I'm just waiting for and they got Activision now too, so I'm just waiting for the Menkar Cameron Call of Duty skin to come out myself.
They're also going to I think we're also going to have what's it called? We're also going to have this like Oblivion remake before we're getting the Elder Scrolls 6. So we'll see if we're going to get a taste of what it is to like see an Elder Scrolls game developed by a different studio. We're getting an Oblivion remake.
That'd be pretty wacky.
No, and I feel like they're doing the Oblivion remake just to spite the what's it called? The
Sky
Oblivion team, because they can't have that. Like that trailer like blew them like got 2 or 3 million views, just like blew them out of the water. And they're like, oh, we can't let modders have like more success than we do. We can't let like indie developers become that like successful. So they're releasing. So it's gonna be Oblivion's like game mechanics combined with the Unreal Engine. So it's gonna be a buggy mess. But
I just hope they add some helmets that don't look terrible.
I wonder how the faces and everything is gonna look like. I'm very curious in that remake though. Like I think it's gonna suck and people are gonna say it sucks. But I personally I'm waiting for it because the modders are gonna make it way better. We're actually going to get an engine, like an Elder Scrolls engine that runs on like the modern graphics. Imagine the amazing stuff that the modders could do with that.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, there's gonna be a learning curve, but at the same time, imagine if like they could actually like remake Skyrim on there, like before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
Well, knowing modders, they're gonna figure out the engine in like the first day that the game drops, and
instead of Sky Oblivion, we're gonna get a Oblivion.
Oh yeah. I predict that Thomas the Tank Engine will enter the game within the first week.
Yes.
Yeah, probably that mod. That one and the Randy Savage one.
Yes.
Oh man, the Randy Savage one is creepy as heck.
Do we have a confirmation on the location of the next Elder Scrolls game, or is it just hearsay that it's Hammerfell?
I do not think they've confirmed it yet, but I also am fairly certain it's going to be Hammerfell.
It's Hammerfell and High Rock. They're going back to Daggerfall.
That'd be super nice, though.
My guess is that this is going to be the Thalmor War Last Stand. I think they're going to write it in that either Skyrim is still at civil war after all this time, or that Skyrim won, or I should say the Stormcloaks won the fight, weakened Skyrim, and now the Thalmor are eating up the remains, and like the last bastion of humanity's hope is going to be in Hammerfell.
No,
because the Thalmor just didn't. They're not going to. Redguards are no joke.
I disagree. Yeah. They're going to pull some bullcrap, in my opinion.
What do you think they're going to do?
I think they're going to say like, oh yeah, the peace agreement lasted for a long time because the Thalmor did something, and Skyrim and no, like there was a dragon break or whatever, and both the Stormcloak and the Empire won. Oh, now you're in Daggerfall and you're like Hunding, and you're the Ebony Warrior basically.
I think that's going to be the next like special mechanic is going to be sword singing.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and if they do that means like they're not gonna change the eras. We're just gonna see the events of Hammerfell happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the ballpark that I'm really upset with the massive time jump they took between Oblivion and Skyrim.
I wasn't too upset with it, but go ahead. Yes.
I wasn't a huge fan of that. I hope we get a more 10, 20 years, 30 maybe years in the future kind of game with this. But if not, if they decide to do another big jump, then it would be so funny if they just said Skyrim was still at civil war. 300 years they've been fighting the Empire and the Stormcloaks. It's been like 10 generations of Stormcloak kings.
Yeah. The most likely scenario is that they're just gonna say, "Oh, they're still at war," which, okay, like, I get wanting to not take away like the impact of player choice, but at the same time, like, you need to make things canon sometimes, and sometimes that's gonna upset people.
Have either of you guys played the Witcher games?
Yes.
I have played a little bit of Witcher 3.
Yeah, okay, well, even if you've gotten past the intro of Witcher 3, you know that they take data from The Witcher 2. And they also do the very same thing, like if you didn't play The Witcher 2, then they just ask you questions at the beginning of Witcher 3 to determine what happened in Witcher 2. I think that it would be pretty easy to put in a system where they were like, you're going through something, you're being debriefed by some Imperial officer, and they're like, and do you recall who won the Civil War? And whatever you say is the canon answer.
Oh god, yes, they do that.
That would be a lot of
games.
That would be a little better, I think, is to just let the player choose what happened in the previous game. If they're going to go down the route of we don't want to. We don't want our players feeling like they didn't accomplish anything. Then I think I would agree with the mechanic of just adding, the ability to say, no, here's what happened in my headcanon, and that's fine. I don't disagree with that.
By the way, Connor, I'm
gonna be honest.
Hold on, I'm gonna post the stream announcement on on the other stuff. I kind of forgot, so we'll have more people coming in. Hold on.
Go ahead, Indoril.
Go ahead. Yes.
Oh man, my short-term memory is terrible. I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
Nothing interesting. It's all good.
Your memories got wiped by
actually,
Dagoth.
I think it was that's just a fact. I've got the trunk growing out of my face right now. I'm getting into sleeper mode. It's really a big deal.
I see.
Congratulations on Ascension.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, you were gonna say I think you were saying something about the Witcher and the choices that they let you choose.
Yeah. Well, I think that like the Civil War is, at least in my opinion, not a particularly important event that they would need a dragon break for or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think a choice like that would really affect the game so much. Except for like some extraneous lines of dialogue, probably.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Maybe
yeah,
we get to
it's
see
just
old man Tullius.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so what do we think they're gonna remove? Like, because we know, at least based on Morrowind to Oblivion and Oblivion to Skyrim, they've cut content. Do you think they're gonna cut down even more, or do you think it's just gonna stay relatively the same?
They're going to.
Well,
Go ahead.
no, after you.
No,
It's your
you
podcast,
go,
bro.
you go ahead. You go ahead. I'm currently like working on something else, so you can go ahead.
Yes, as you command, Lord Dagoth. So I think probably, at least what I want to see is I want to see, because they're using a new engine, and so I would like to see some less clunky combat. I know that's a huge leap for Bethesda, but I think it would be best if they added mechanics like that, or maybe they'll take away enchanting. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Ooh, that would be a choice that they could make for sure.
Yeah. First it's spell creation, then it's enchanting. They're gonna remove skooma from the game, and everybody's just not gonna buy it.
Yeah, I mean, they can't be seen as potentially, advocating for any sort of substances. I mean, that's just
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
I was disabling the Discord notifications because I don't want them to view my stream.
Yeah.
Finally, I'll remind me to re-enable them, please, when we end the podcast, because I need the Discord notifications for stuff. Anyhow, yes. But what were you saying? People are saying, I hope they cut content and we have it's slug is the slug. I hope they cut content and we have fewer, more quality spells like Bite, Forsworn, Conspiracy to Blood on to Ice. No enchanting, just magical legendary drops. Ooh. What do you guys think?
Okay,
I actually, Sluggiest the Slug, I actually agree. If they have to cut, I would prefer more unique dungeons and quests than having more dungeons that are just copy pastes of each other and quests that are just the same thing but for different people. Like,
yeah, each quest needs to be video.
I am all for boiling down quests and making them less abundant but more quality.
Oh, 100%. Who's it? Jason Maxwell, the no enchanting, just magical legendary drops. See, on one hand, as a storytelling device, I think magical uniques are infinitely better than enchanting an iron sword, but that would totally break the continuity of Elder Scrolls and what we see in the game just immediately with, You've got scrubs like Farengar, who are, I guess he's not so much of a scrub. He's got a position in Dragon's Reach. I'm not that high on the corporate ladder yet, but, he can enchant stuff, and, you can enchant stuff when you're level 1. So it would definitely break continuity, but I think that would be pretty cool if they just, or maybe Bethesda can just give us uniques, right? No more mods for that. Come on.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely want to see more past level past game items,
Oh yeah. And like with enchanting, I don't want to be able to enchant anything that's just instantly better than a Daedric artifact. But
yeah. Daedric artifacts, they really nerf the crap out of them.
They should be absurd. They should be OP, legitimately.
Yeah,
I agree. They should actually in universe be like. They should also be super hard to get, but they should be super powerful.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Well,
Go ahead. I was just gonna say
no, it's your turn to go ahead.
I was just gonna say they should be very difficult to get. Like, they should be like very difficult level quests, like very very well crafted. I don't want the I don't know. I feel like Morrowind did a good job with their Daedra quests. Like, they were impossible for me to as a kid to crack.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Fork of Horripilation that you have to kill a bull netch with, and it does literally 1 damage a turn. I mean a hit or something like that. That was back when he was known as Shigarath.
Hello, and he doesn't have a Scottish accent.
No, he wasn't Wes Johnson yet.
Even though Wes Johnson was in the game. Wes Johnson wasn't.
That's true. He was. He was the Imperials, wasn't he?
No, he was.
He also played a Daedric Prince, yeah.
Oh man.
Bretons.
Bretons.
Yes. Okay, Ahab.
Yeah, he was. Wow.
So
it was Boethia, Malakath, and Molag Bal in Morrowind.
In regards to the
incredible.
In regards to the Elder Scrolls 6, I expect very good Daedric quests, but also I feel like we'll be able to climb and do all that stuff. But I feel like it will be very lackluster, and the modders will have to take the brunt of it. I'll be honest with you. That's what I expect from Elder Scrolls 6. But hey, if they provide good modding tools, we'll get a good game. After 5 years after its release. However,
yeah,
I have a conspiracy theory. And chat, are you listening? Hajime, Hinata, Game Templar, Jason, Flagius, and Sir Schizo, everybody. Everyone's gonna go wild. But I have a big conspiracy theory. Are you guys ready for this one? I feel like...
Hit us with it.
Yes, it is what we discussed. I feel like they used Skyrim engine to make the Elder Scrolls 6 what's it called? Trailer. They did not even have a new engine for it. They literally used the Elder Scrolls Special Edition, Skyrim Special Edition engine, not even the Anniversary Edition update. They used a Special Edition engine to make this Elder Scrolls 6 trailer. Go
Wouldn't
wild,
that be such
chat.
a crazy real-life lore drop? That'd be so crazy. It'd be like, not only have they not started developing the game, they didn't even start working on their engine or anything.
I mean, I can't see didn't they? I mean, it's not that far-fetched a theory, honestly, considering that they released that 3 years ago, and now they're saying, "Oh, we're just now into production."
No, Connor.
Well, then how did you get that? How did you get that?
Connor, what are you talking about 3 years? It's been more than 5 years.
Oh man, it was in 2018?
Yes.
Oh crap! Wow. Man. Yeah.
It's rough.
If they're just now starting production and they had a trailer 5 years ago, I don't that seems pretty sus.
Thought it was auto-generated by a Starfield engine. I don't think a Starfield engine existed back then either. They had the trailer for it, but it didn't exist. And if it's the Starfield engine, I'm sorry, but from what I saw, I haven't played the game. But if this is the Starfield engine, I'm sorry, guys, but I'm gonna say this. I'd rather have another studio develop the Elder Scrolls if they're gonna use a Starfield engine. How are we gonna get?
Get on it, Microsoft.
Yeah, what do you think, Indoril or Connor? What do you guys think?
Again, I'm all for other studios getting a hold of the Elder Scrolls IP. I think especially if you've got like a sort of grand designer who is monitoring the way that they write the games and the way that they present the lore and everything, I think you can keep a good amount of continuity into it. I think that as far as the trailer goes, I think you're probably right. Unless they just used like Unreal or something for the trailer, I could see that. I could see that too.
It doesn't look like Unreal. That's the problem. It does not look like Unreal. Like you don't see the details or anything. I mean, if
I'm trying to give Todd a little credit.
I mean, I have a question. If someone told you this was like a Morrowind with a graphic extender trailer, would you have believed it?
I'm gonna be honest. If somebody told me that this was the trailer for Morrowind, yeah. I mean, like cutscenes have looked good for a really long time. This could have been a trailer for Oblivion. They made really good cutscenes for that.
Yes, and Skyrim had amazing cutscenes too.
Yeah.
Man, I actually thought about doing this when Skyrim like just came out, but it was so oversaturated. And I was like, nah, man. Do you remember how big Skyrim was when it came out?
Doing like podcast?
Not podcast. Back then it wasn't podcast. It was Let's Plays and stuff. I mean, I started doing that later on.
Oh yeah. I'd watch a Let's Play of Skyrim from you now, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
let's give it 2023.
I've been doing streams since like 2014, but Skyrim I've streamed since 2016, 17. So yeah, I started taking more seriously when the special edition came out. With better graphics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the anniversary edition didn't cause like that much of a excitement. People were just like, "Oh, cool, Skyrim," and that's it. Like, I think anniversary edition was a mistake, in my opinion.
I think if you do a Let's Play, it should be on the Alexa.
Ah.
Or character AI.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I was on a character AI the other day. They have like text adventures that you can do on there.
I love those.
Yeah.
They have an Elder Scrolls RPG.
Oh, do they?
Yes. By the way, and now you can
I
actually play with you can actually play with people now. I do have the account that allows you to play with others. I can add you to a game. Basically.
Honestly, that's pretty sick. Well, see, I was trying to do a text-to-speech, or not a text-to-speech, a text adventure in the character AI, and it wouldn't let me do certain actions.
Oh, in order to do actions, you have to put them in star.
Oh no, I meant it would tell me, oh, this is against policy. Like I would be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna start, going at this guy with a knife. Be like, you can't do that.
No, they don't do that usually for some reason. What? Did that happen with character AI? Or a different site?
Yeah, man.
No, a character
it was character AI. I was I don't know, maybe I'll go into my history and make sure that I was on the right place, but I checked it out after you and I had talked about it the first time.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Character AI.
I'll tell you a few things. Anyhow, before the character AI thing, before we get to that, I want to divert our attention to the upcoming Elder Scrolls games. And the more we talk about, the more disappointed I'm getting, because we're gonna get a Elder Scrolls 6 game on the Starfield engine. Do you think so, guys? And what do you guys think of the Starfield engine?
No, I don't think there will be. I think it'll be its own
I
engine.
hope not. I really hope so. I'm not a Starfield fan personally, and I like sci-fi. I don't think it was bad. I just don't think that it was like compared to IPs like Fallout and Elder Scrolls. It just didn't hit.
No, I don't think Starfield. I think Cyberpunk 2077 is better than Starfield. Like from the looks of it. I don't even want to touch Starfield. I'll have to, but
I'm a Cyberpunk fanboy, so I'm not gonna go on a rant about that. But I think that if they put it in the Starfield engine, that would be a huge mistake because at least in my experience, the characters are so flat in Starfield. You don't get any facial expression, or it's like barely there. And there's a lot of really good voice acting that is diminished by the characters in the game.
Yeah, I think they're
Models,
too cheap to spend their money on what's it called? Motion generation. But I feel like, you know what could save the Elder Scrolls 6, guys? AI and
what could save the Elder Scrolls 6?
AI NPCs.
AI NPCs.
We already have them in mods. We already have them in Skyrim that you could talk to them and adventure with them. And they react to the environment. Have you guys seen Herika?
Yeah, man. I've seen a bunch of clips from Herika. Of Herika.
Herika, Connor, have you heard of Herika?
No.
Okay, you should watch.
Super cool.
Actually, you know what? We could technically watch Herika like here with like what's it called? With chat and stuff if you guys want, but. Herika is an AI NPC that like you adventure with, and she actually talks to you. She's like, unfortunately, like.
Oh, that. Yeah. Okay, yes. I've heard about it and I've seen it.
She's Chat GPT generated, which, in my opinion, it should be more character AI generated because character AI has less censorship than what's it called? Than
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, and I'm surprised like Indoril got hit by it. Maybe because I have a paid tier, I don't know, thing. That's why it's not letting him.
That could very well be it.
Anyhow, I use character AI on a bunch of stuff. That's why I'll have that. But I'm like running like 4 or 5 like campaigns with friends using character AI. It's funny. Not like campaigns, but like they're very interesting short like text adventures. But anyhow, I feel like Herika, if the character AI engine could go hand in hand with Herika, and she could react to, I think computers are going to be more powerful back in like 2026, 2027, whenever Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. Yeah. We will be able to basically have AI, and Bethesda would be able to basically say, "Oh, hey, this is not like connected to the internet. You can do whatever you want on your devices, like whatever you want with the AI. Like it's not censored. Like obviously, and basically, it's like free reign. Like you can do anything you want with the AI in the privacy of your own home. I'm not saying NSFW. I'm just saying like I feel like the censorship just prevents you from meaningful roleplay. And like if it's like based in a local device, which is like actually possible to make those kinds of like local AI like frameworks, you could have like I don't know, like if you a campaign where you just like swear or like fight and do whatever you want basically, versus like if the AI is connected to the online servers, which is like another problem that might happen, that you will need an online connection to play Elder Scrolls 6. What do you guys think? Do you think that might happen?
What, that they're gonna
make you connect
I don't
online?
think Bethesda's innovative enough for that.
They might be by the time you get to 2027.
My optimism in that is not so high. I do think that would be a really interesting thing to see in like a really story-driven game. I'm sure you can program AI to speak within the bounds of canon and lore. But
there is, you can do that. You can limit what they can talk about, what they can, and if you like talk to them about, like, if you like put limits on there, it's actually the best. You know why? Because like the NPC shouldn't know about mods or stuff like that. The NPC should only have like a very limited like knowledge of the world. Like you just upload like a small encyclopedia of like Skyrim and Elder Scrolls, but what an average NPC should know. And if you like start talking about mods and stuff, they could be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Quit lollygagging or something like that. If you start like going all meta on the characters. But you can have like regular conversations like, I don't know, with them that are less sophisticated than Herika. Then it's possible, if you know what I'm saying. Because people in real life do not have that much knowledge as, especially people in like Skyrim or Hammerfall or something like that. That AI wouldn't be that sophisticated to like, I don't know everything.
Yeah. Gonna ask them the whole history of the first era.
They'll be like, whoa.
Get like some random peasant.
They'll be like, I don't know. Connor, what?
I don't know.
One moment.
That'd be so. That's where you get the repeat NPC die. If you say anything that they can't understand.
Yeah, just like that one moment.
They just sit there like, need something. That's good. All right, I'm all for it now. That'd be great.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that AI wouldn't be awesome to implement. I think it would. Yeah, I think it would really liven up the game. I'm not sure about totally unrestricted because I'm sure there are legal issues with producing a game that can technically be used for, XYZ. And I don't think Bethesda would allow themselves to ever be in that awkward position.
I mean, here's the thing.
I'm not saying I'm against it. I do think that players should be able to do whatever the heck they want in a product that they purchased with their money for their use. But I am saying I don't think it'll ever be an official, like, oh yeah, it's totally unrestricted. I mean, probably modders will be able to... Oh yeah, modders will get that done in like a week. But as far as official goes, they're probably gonna,
What do you mean I cannot marry Serana? What do you mean I cannot marry Serana?
Yeah.
She has been, the Dragonborn has been dead for 500 years. Imagine going up to Serana and being like, finally, I can talk to you. And she's like, I'm sorry, but Todd Howard is not letting you marry me.
Oh man, all I can imagine is the epic, like, just social failures of your character in an Elder Scrolls game walking up to an NPC and, like, if you don't have dialogue options, especially to lean back on, and you walk up to an NPC and you're like, hey, you want to marry me? Are we going to get AI that's just going to be like, this is way too soon. You've only got 30 hours in this game. I've barely known you for 5.
By the way, moderate installed AI on Fallout 5 to build settlements. And I think we'll be able to build settlements in Elder Scrolls 6. But also with the AI like that, imagine if they like build their own settlements, elect their own Jarl and all that stuff at the same time. AI can do that now. Characters can do that now.
Imagine ever having a Bethesda game with more than subpar cities. It just wouldn't feel right.
What is Jack saying?
So sad.
They're asking something about the Elder Scrolls 6 protagonist. What specifically do you want to know our thoughts on when you say Elder Scrolls 6 protagonist? That's a little vague.
The everyman.
Yeah. Well, you see, he's going to be a prisoner.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of... That's part of that's the rub for a protagonist of Elder Scrolls.
You wouldn't know this
Prisoner probably.
Go ahead.
You gotta have the enantiomorph, the king, the rebel, and the witness.
However, you would definitely know this is the last Elder Scrolls game if it doesn't start with a prison escape.
What would they do? What would the Elder Scrolls 6 protagonist do? I'm going to bet that the main quest is going to lean heavily on the war with the Thalmor. I think that's the most logical position to go from here.
They're gonna be trying to disable the Direni Tower, like the tower in High Rock. The last the Adamantine Tower. The Adamantine Tower, yes.
I don't think...
If they
Let's see.
disable
Have they destroyed all besides that one? Because I think that one can only be destroyed when the rest of them are.
Well, yeah, they destroyed the White Gold Tower. They destroyed the one. I think they managed to destroy the High Hrothgar one too, right? I'm not sure.
Oh, Snowthroat? I mean, I guess it depends on if they win the Civil War.
And man, espionage is always an option. It'd be like,
well, that's true.
You know, get the dialogue. We won the Civil War, but at what cost?
We won the Civil War, but at what cost? Oh, actually, like a video idea, Ulfric has an existential crisis. So I won the Civil War, but at what cost? I have a weird New Yorker accent. Oh god.
Let's get a like Italian mafioso Ulfric.
So
you come to Windhelm on the day of my coronation.
Okay, go ahead.
So it looks like the Orichalc and the sword was toppled. The Red Tower / Heart of Lorkhan deactivated. The Crystal-like Law and the Person, which I guess is their... Oh, I see. They're listing the tower and then their what would you call it?
The event that disabled it.
Phylactery, for lack of a better term. Like if the tower was a lich, the secondary would be the phylactery for the lich. So basically, Orichalc and the sword were destroyed. Red Tower and the Heart of Lorkhan. We don't know where the heart went, and the tower got blown up. The Crystal-like Law on the Person toppled during the Oblivion Crisis. White Gold Tower. And then these are the ones that might still be going. So the Numidium, which is a bit of a leap. They mentioned Coda again. I'm pretty sure Coda isn't actually canon, so we can't take it as literal lore. The Green Sap, which is maybe still on, but the Thalmor kind of own all of that now, so it depends on if they make the tower deactivation officially their goal. Snowthroat is still active, assumedly.
Who said that?
And the Adamantia is still standing.
Who said that the Snowthroat is active still?
We don't know precisely, but I don't see a way for it to, I mean, the Snowthroat wasn't even... It's not even really fleshed out as, like, a tower, so I'm not even sure how it works. But I guess depending on how far the Thalmor get into it, maybe it's deactivated by Elder Scrolls 6.
I mean, they do come to the peace talks. Do you remember?
Yeah, I never let her in the...
I mean, she didn't need
I always side with Ulfric on that one.
And while she wasn't sitting down at the table, she went and she destroyed the tower.
Yep, there we go. Bam.
Yep.
Closed loop.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So I think the Adamantine By the way, I think the whole Adamantine Tower thing is the deactivation of the Adamantine Tower. I feel like that was like a big thing, like everywhere. Like I don't know. Was it like a thing in Daggerfall too? Because the reason I'm asking is because like some anime like called ReZero might be adapting a similar plots in for their next like what's it called season where they're actually going to be deactivating a tower that's like similar to the tower in what's it called? Not Hammerfell, but in Hyrule. The Adamantine Tower. Hold on. And I feel like that's gonna end the Kalpa. It's gonna be really dramatic.
Okay, wait. Say that one more time.
I think it might end the Kalpa if they actually destroy Monolith.
Oh, if they destroy the Adamantine Tower.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It is literally the meeting place of the gods that shaped creation. So it's technically like kind of like the center of creation in a way.
And the Kalpa, they can do new continuity Elder Scrolls games.
Yes.
True.
Which could very well be awful.
I mean that would be if Elder Scrolls. I honestly don't think that's going to be far from the conclusion of Elder Scrolls 6. I have a feeling that they're going to try to like reboot the series.
Sure, I could totally see it.
And the best way to do that, obviously, is with the end of the Kalpa.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Adamantine
So
Tower,
you might actually, maybe the protagonist will be fighting on the side of the Thalmor. That would be interesting.
If you could.
Oh man.
Oh.
That would.
But then I guess that would probably rule out the Sword Singer possibility, which I'm like 90% sure they're going to add that as the main shtick.
I mean, I could definitely see. I mean, I guess you could be a sword singer, and they could still give you the option to side with the Thalmor.
True.
Because I mean, you can be a Thalmor sympathizing Dragonborn.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I feel like it would be interesting if like the opening is the Thalmor caught you, worshipping Talos once, so they gave you a choice, and you either have to help them in Hammerfell, or they'll, murder your entire family or something. Like, I feel like that would be a neat little twist, since we're always playing the hero by Mundus's standards. I think it would be very, very interesting to play as, like, the quote-unquote villain.
Uh-huh.
That's just me not even speculating. I don't think they're going to do that, but I think that would be a cool twist.
At least be a cool option,
And of course, let the player choose if they're going to betray the Thalmor or not, but, like, I don't know. I feel like the end of the main quest of Elder Scrolls 6 might be a closing of the Kalpa, and that they might just reboot the series.
Yeah, there's the Zero Stone inside the Learning Tower. Like something like video life changing is gonna we're gonna get a very big lore drop in the Learning Tower. We're gonna be like screaming our heads off because what's going on with the someone says Emperor Nero did nothing wrong. What family? Did you guys see the chat? Hello?
Yeah, man. Emperor Nero's also got some good ideas here. An actual judicial system. They had that in They had that in Daggerfall.
Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah, the
great.
ability to like affect the political landscape yourself rather than like oh man, Skyrim has this great mod that lets you become your own faction, and you can like capture bandit outposts and all that stuff.
Become High King?
That one was a fun one. If they could, huh?
Was it the Become High King one?
No, the Become High King one is separate.
Oh,
this one is like Conquest of Skyrim, I think is the name of the mod.
Oh.
And you basically just claim neutral areas, and then eventually you can like build your troops up and, you know, make siege on, you know, freaking Whiterun and take them over and appoint whoever you want as the Jarl. And
yeah, that should have been
it's
like the plot of the actual game.
I know. I agree.
For you as Dragonborn. Oh man, I might actually play that since this is actually a thing.
Yeah, I try to play through as Dagoth doing that. The mod's a little buggy. I don't know if they updated it yet.
Yeah, no, it has to be. The mod must not be buggy. Yeah, but I also think that Bethesda should actually hire the modders to work on the game sometimes. I feel like some of the modders do a very excellent job even writing the stories than Bethesda does.
Ooh, Test 6 is gonna have uglier Argonians. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, make them as ugly as you can. Let's go for it.
Don't even make them lizards. Let's make them like what they are, like farm tools. They just what's it called?
Yeah, they just you know, some of them have a rake, and yeah, some of them are shovels, and you know they're just hopping around.
Like an actual pitchfork Argonian.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you can have an angry mob without the mob.
What kind of farm tool do you think the lusty Argonian maid would have been?
Uh-ho.
I don't think we can say it on stream.
That's fair. That's fair. The hoe one, that was a good one. That was a good little shot here.
Yes.
I think I think that well, like going back to like the judicial system too, I think it would be so great to get like a trial in to get a trial in Elder Scrolls 6. Imagine you steal a wheel of cheese and you're arrested, and instead of just being thrown in the dungeon for an indeterminate amount of days, they take you to court.
Yes, and it's AI courts.
That should have been something that Oblivion implemented, actually, considering they're in the capital of the Empire.
Standing before like an imperial tribune. Yeah, that would have been great. Well, they kind of had that in Daggerfall, where like I think it was that you could commit crimes that would have different punishments, and I think Elder Scrolls 6 should re-implement that, because if I transform into a werewolf, murder half of whoever leads Hammerfell or High Rock, if I murder half the royal court of High Rock, I should be killed. I want to be executed for my crimes. It's what I deserve.
I mean, Morrowind kind of had that, but without trial. It's just like, oh, you've killed enough people to be more of the death penalty. You bad boy.
Right? Exactly. They could have okay, getting into like High Rock though. High Rock has such a beautiful potential that they haven't tapped into, of this sort of Machiavellian politics that can go on there, and it would be really interesting to see a faction system wherein you get different laws in different sort of provincial governments around the area. You know, one local lord has X punishment for this, another has Y punishment for the same thing.
Yeah.
That's too much fleshing out for a Bethesda title, but that would be sick.
By the way, you know what else is ridiculous? Is like when you like take over, when you help take over, like you're literally the Dragonborn, and you help a Jarl take over like Whiterun, they shouldn't take away your Thane status. Like if you were a Thane there and you like betrayed the previous Jarl, they're like, oh, you betrayed the previous Jarl and as a Thane. Well, we keep you as Thane, or like Like, there should be like at least like an explanation how you lose your freaking Thane status, man.
You know, like piggybacking off of that, I also think they should add a reputation system for the game.
Oh, nice.
Because isn't it just so infuriating to be a literal like Shezzarine demigod incarnate, and you know you're still getting charged for like picking a flower that you weren't supposed to, or you're getting like even if you aren't in the Thieves Guild, or even if you aren't the Thane, people will like recognize you're Dragonborn. But if you don't have any privileges beyond that, you can't be like, listen, buddy, I'm a demigod. You're not gonna arrest me.
Yeah, that was one of the funniest skits that
Yeah.
what's his name, who did Skyrim Scribbles, where he's just like, we saw what you did, scum. I picked a flower. Oh,
Yeah, it's for a
Skyrim's
potion.
greatest hero, off picking flowers. It's a potion. Or it's for a potion.
Yeah, no, they
That
need
shit
a
was
reputation system. They really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm personally an advocate of not doing like special boy stuff. You know, I don't want to be Dragonborn, and I really don't want to be a sword singer either. Like I think Blank Slate is so much better for an RPG like that.
Champion of Cyrodiil.
Yeah.
Like that's like
I definitely agree.
Oblivion's
Not
hero
that the
was
shouts
superior.
weren't sick. Yeah, Oblivion, and even like genuinely the way that they did it in Morrowind too, like that's special boy status, but I think they did it right.
Were you? What? So we actually had this conversation with Connor. Were they? Okay, I'm of the opinion that our character is the actual Nerevarine, but Connor, you're saying like they're not the actual Nerevarine, but they just mantled Nerevar. Like so, anyone?
No,
Nerevar.
not like, not the Nerevarine is whoever completes the requirements to be the Nerevarine. All other ones are failed incarnates, and it's not entirely clear if you are literally Nerevar reborn, or if you're just following his footsteps. Not necessarily mantling, but imitating. I'm not sure that you can mantle a mortal.
Well, think about it like this. Think about it like a Daedric quest. Almost is you're proving yourself to be Nerevar's equal in the eyes of Azura potentially.
Oh.
So that Azura can,
so that she'll bless
proclaim.
you.
Yeah, so Azura's like, yeah, that's Nerevar, everybody, come on.
So
Big round of applause. That's Nerevar.
Hold on.
That was Nerevar the whole time.
You're saying, Indoril, are you saying that? Are you saying that Morrowind is just a big Daedra quest?
It's one big Daedra. That's my opinion. It's one big Daedric quest.
Okay.
It's Daedra all the way down, guys.
Okay. Let's see here.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. So Morrowind is the Daedra quest. Oblivion is the anti-Daedra quest. Or no, it's also a Daedra quest to an extent. Maybe if it's like down through Sheogorath, you could argue that if you battle Sheogorath first and you go, what's it called? You go against Dagon, yes. That's also a Daedra quest.
It's all Daedra. It's all Daedra.
But it's Skyrim a Daedra quest?
That's well, you become the bitch of Hermaeus Mora, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how they're gonna write them out of the story.
Yeah, your Hermaeus Mora's like his little puppet, his boy toy at the end of the game. So like if you're gonna be Hermaeus Mora's boy toy, then it's also a Daedric quest.
I'm having a existential crisis.
They're all Daedric quests, Zake. They're all Daedric quests.
Everything
Wait.
that has to do with anything Elder Scrolls is Daedric
Wait.
confirmed.
They're all Daedra quests. Always has been.
Exactly.
Somebody, chat, get on the memes, spam them everywhere you can.
I'll make it. Like
Yeah,
one for
that's I mean, Daedra, in my opinion, are one of the most interesting parts of Elder Scrolls. So, I don't mind the everything's a Daedra quest.
I mean, I appreciate that the. So basically, the Imperial quest, like to save the Empire, is not actually like a Imperial quest.
Side
It's
quest
Daedra
is a side.
quest.
Yeah, it's all wraps around to being a Daedra quest, one way or another.
Good point. Oh, an actual religious system.
Or
Having an actual religious
Yeah.
system in Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh
Some
yeah.
mods actually
Well,
do
I was
a
gonna
good
say
job.
earlier, like, oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say earlier, like when we were talking about the Daedric artifacts, I don't think you should be able to claim certain Daedric artifacts aligning with various princes, because I'm not entirely of the opinion that Molag Bal would give you his blessing if you were the champion of Meridia.
Connor.
Champion of Meridia. Really?
Yeah, what do you think? You think Molag Bal would be down with that?
I don't know. I have to say it one more time.
So let's say, right. Let's say that you get the mace of Molag Bal, right?
Right.
Molag Bal, the creator of all things horrible, the vampires, and then you go to the statue of Meridia, and do you think that Meridia would be like, oh yes, well you're the known champion of Molag Bal, I'll give you my Daedric artifact as well?
Yeah.
Or do you think
no,
Meridia would be like, I don't know if I want to work with a vampire here.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Meridia would be
Not too keen.
would be pretty peeved. I think that Malakath and Boethia probably would have the same relationship.
Oh yeah. Imagine, can we get in the next Elder Scrolls game, can we just have it to where, like, if you're Boethia's champion and you even approach the Shrine of Malakath, you're just struck down immediately. You can't even walk up to it. He doesn't want to see you.
Oh, yes, that would be hilarious. Okay, actually, here's what I'm thinking. What do you guys think about this theory, though? Imagine the Empire as kingdoms. I mean, it's basically that, kind of.
I mean, I could, for an advocacy for another game that has Cyrodiil elements,
God of War
I think that it would be
Tamriel.
so...
Go ahead.
Oh man, legitimately though, like, it would be so cool to have sort of a post-Empire faction game where you get sort of the Fall of Rome style. You get like the Eastern Empire, the Western Empire. You get like sort of these Byzantine-esque offshoots of the Empire forming in Cyrodiil.
The Aldmeri Dominion kind of already is doing that to an extent.
Well, see, I think that it'd be like the Aldmeri Dominion would definitely be a faction involved. But if you want to get like split it up into kingdoms, you could do warring generals and all those kinds of things.
That would be also a good
yeah, I think that would be cool.
So
I think if they're gonna do it, I mean, High Rock / Hammerfell is probably the place that is most likely to be split into kingdoms again, considering that's what happened in Daggerfall, or rather, they stopped being independent kingdoms in Daggerfall. Something like that. I haven't actually played the game. It's too dungeony for my tastes.
Oh, by the
Oh,
way,
that's fair.
speaking of which, I feel like we might actually start like not as a Redguard or as a Breton. I feel like they're doing both Hammerfall and High Rock for a good reason. And you know who we're gonna be playing? The starter character is going to be in Elder Scrolls 6. I'm calling it right now. And if I'm wrong, I'll buy you guys something expensive. Not super expensive, but expensive. The next character,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, 99% sure, is going to be an orc.
Like, as in who they're gonna be canonizing?
Yes.
An orc. Interesting. What
that-
makes you say that?
Because, what's it called? They wouldn't want, if they're doing two provinces, they wouldn't want to choose a Redguard or a Breton as their, like, main characters.
Oh yeah, like in the trailers and stuff.
Yes. So, if
Oh,
the orc is
Ah.
your main character...
That's what you're getting. So like an orc is going to be in the trailers, yeah.
Man, I mean, let's see.
Let's get Orsinium volume. What is it? Volume 4 or
Elder
5.
Scrolls 6 Orsinium, let's go!
There
No,
you
that'd
go.
be a great DLC though. Can you imagine? Orktown DLC.
Oh, right. Dude, Malakath gets the last laugh. The Elder Scrolls 6 Orsinium DLC is to make Malakath Trinimac again.
Oh man,
Okay,
No,
That's,
Trinimac doesn't deserve to exist.
but
my man Trinimac. Oh, poop
backtracking.
god for sure.
Backtracking though, do you remember when you said, "Hey, how is it possible to be both the what's it called, all the champions of Daedra, but you do have a choice in destroying the Dark Brotherhood and versus like joining the Dark Brotherhood, or like you do have like consequential choices in Skyrim, but for some reason when it comes to Daedric
Oh,
artifacts, it's different. So like that's what makes me like question things. However, hold on, I'm trying to. Oh yeah, the Elder Scrolls Ohio. I'll keep there. Okay. What I'm getting at is that have you guys heard about this theory where you are only like it said that maybe you are actually not all of those things. You're like the Dragonborn is separate. The person who the listener of Dark Brotherhood is a separate guy. The head of the campaign is separate. The Archmage is separate. It's just the game allows you to like kind of live their lives through the Dragonborn. But
yeah.
I've heard both that
No,
theory, but I don't agree with it for some reason. I feel like there's way too much that like the hero does, well, that's interconnected.
Well, I've heard the theory, most definitely, but like it's good for like explaining why you can do all of those. I just think that from like an RPG perspective and from like a mechanical perspective, it would encourage replayability a lot as well. If it was like, you can't side with Meridia and Molag Bal, things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that does definitely. Yeah, choices that lock you out of other quests is not an inherently bad thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing either. Especially, I forget who said it in chat, but whoever said it in chat is right on the money with like if they do fewer quests at higher qualities, and we only get a game that's like, let's say you can beat Elder Scrolls 6, like everything that you could possibly do in one playthrough of Elder Scrolls 6, you could beat in say like 20 or 30 hours. I would be absolutely willing to just replay the game to do more stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Plus, mods can be
Permanent
added.
lockouts.
What'd
Say
you
again?
say? Zake?
the DLCs and the mods would actually like be a lot more sophisticated with their quests in that case. Yeah, you were saying, Connor?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh no, I was pretty much finished. I think I don't I really do like the idea of sometimes being like, well, you can't join the Bards College because you already joined, the companions, and we don't, whatever, blah blah blah. We don't like the companions because they're all brawn and no brain, or whatever whatever makes you, whatever gets your ship sailing. But
you
man,
I think it would be I think it would be a good addition.
Get out of this fine
think that,
establishment. That is the Bard College. You enva.
Can you imagine if you play as the the Stormcloaks, you go and you raid Solitude, and they just burn down the Bards College, and that locks you out of it?
Yeah,
I think that would add so much good connectivity in the world if it's like, oh, well, you joined this faction, and this faction is, diametrically opposed to this faction, or say like the companions. Like the companions seem very much like a very sort of, Sons of Skyrim type. Actually, in my opinion, the companions are a sorry cult, but from like a sort of a patriotism perspective, I could see the companions siding with the Stormcloaks, and it being the case where if you play as an Imperial, then you end up fighting the companions and killing like at least certain members of the companions during that quest.
By the way, for those who
I think that would have made it a much better dichotomy.
Could have been emotional too. Like, imagine you do all of the companions quests, and then you get like the some of the members of the companions like, no, don't join the Empire. You're betraying Skyrim, please. And then you get this fight with Farkas where you're squaring up on him as a werewolf in the middle of a battlefield.
Nice.
That would have been sick.
Yeah, that would have been pretty good.
By the way,
man, so disappointed in what they did with the Destroy the Dark Brotherhood. What a dissatisfying quest line that was.
Yeah.
My man Jason Maxwell said Elder Scrolls New Game Plus wouldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. New Game Plus Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, hot take.
I mean, they could totally do it. They could totally do it. Oh,
I definitely think that would be very interesting.
So
if they do the new Kalpa thing, and then you like reset. You're like, oh, you get reincarnated here.
By the way, guys, if you want to be reincarnated, please, as Nerevar Reborn, please like the stream, write in the chat, and comment your suggestions below once the stream's published. It helps in the algorithm, and it's amazing. And if you can, don't burden yourselves, because inflation and all that. You can support us on support us by donating or supporting us on Patreon and stuff. Or another thing would be joining the Discord. But
we already have I think 4 people join the Discord.
Oh, nice!
Oh, yeah, join the Discord.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
Oh yeah, if you're not subscribed though, there's absolutely no way you're going to be reborn in the next Kalpa. It's just not going to happen.
You have to be subscribed to be reborn in the next Kalpa. You have to like.
That's just a fact.
Yes.
It's true. Everybody who doesn't subscribe to us will eventually be in the void with Sithis, and
By the way, are you?
That doesn't sound very fun, right?
Connor, sorry to
scream into the void.
Sorry to put you on the spot, but can someone actually do a Dagoth voice? Like, what's your best Dagoth impression?
Oh, let me get really close to the mic here. Welcome, Moon and Star. Come to me through fire and war. You gotta deepen your voice. Actually, he has kind of an English accent, doesn't he?
Yeah, sure. He has a bit of an English accent.
Which comes out in my videos like...
Come to me through fire and war. It's kind of inconsistent, though. It's almost like it's a transatlantic accent, kind of, where it's like it's like a mix between he's like, welcome, Moon and Star. Come to me through fire and war. Like he drops the A on some things, but he does hard R's when he.
Yeah, that's how
true.
AI perceives them as well.
Yeah, can we get a fully transatlantic Dagoth where he's like, "Hey, welcome, Moon and Star. Come to me through fire and war."
Oh my god, like fucking the noir type detective accent.
Yeah, Detective Dagoth.
Yeah.
Oh! You're giving me video
There's a video
ideas.
idea for you. That's for free. That's free.
Yeah.
Hey, if you wanna...
That's so funny. Oh.
Okay, it's just
what
like...
is it?
Nerevar. Where were you? Where were you at 5 a.m. on the 13th of the last seed?
You're like Almalexia walks into his smoky office.
Hey, it's no Nerevar November.
No
Ooh.
Nerevar November. Ah, come on. You can't do that to me.
Nah, I'm not doing that. It's a joke. Just imagine it's just like, oh Nerevar, I just said your name. I lost no Nerevar November.
Go, Nerevar, go. Go from this place where destiny is made, for it is no Nerevar November.
No, you have to
Just-
be based opinion. What if they got I mean, he kind of made a return. Like there was like an attempt of a return for him in Elder Scrolls, in the Legendary Edition. So I might actually play through that like part as they got when like some guy
the Ghost of the
impersonating-
Tribunal?
Yes.
You should. It's a really good expansion.
Yeah, it is, actually, surprisingly. Could Dagoth come back? Potentially.
If we need to spam Bethesda. Make Dagoth
We need
come
to
back.
find the heart, because the heart and Dagoth are intertwined quite intimately.
I think it's way more likely that Vivek comes back.
Oh.
Well, if Coda is canon.
Yeah.
If Coda is canon.
I feel
When are we gonna
like
get
I want
that,
Nerevar to
the-
come back.
Yeah.
It's really like, oh yeah,
Like,
the Nerevarine is off
Nerevarine.
in Akavir.
Or
And it's
you-
like,
Uriel
Well, you
Uriel
just-
and the Pips and the Nerevar come back together.
oh, that would be a
let's
good
do
one.
it.
Man, I wish they
Yeah.
had gone with that. I wish Todd had been like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna do this.
Oh, by the way, just to
Man.
confirm you guys, I was right. The algorithm was killing kills the streams when like you simulcast. We have like 20 average viewers now, 15 average viewers, but and that's what we usually have. But like previously, because I did simulcasting, you know what happened? We only had 7, Connor.
Yeah,
you-
YouTube's doing a lot of shady stuff lately.
It's Cloud Smile. YouTube is
Yeah,
Cloud Smile. Don't
that's
forget
true.
that.
Well, I've heard that
So-
YouTube streaming is also just not the best.
Actually, it's
Like
becoming
So
as far
what,
as like promoting your stream.
it's becoming better. Actually, go ahead.
What are
Well,
some
that's good.
factions we think are going to show up in the Elder Scrolls 6? I mean, obviously some iteration of the Fighters Guild, some iteration of the Mages Guild.
The Sinbad
Those are
and,
probably guaranteed.
whatever.
Middle Eastern mythology is so slept on, and I hope they dive like really hard into it
Yeah,
in
that would
Elder
be cool.
Scrolls 6. I'm not going to get into it too much, but there's some really cool stuff that they could do regarding a whole lot of the sort of like, I guess the aesthetic of the ancient myth that they've got. I think a faction though. I think that we need a more classy fighters guild. I want like a duelists guild, like the followers, like the followers of the old sword singers. You get these, I want sabers, man. I want sabers in an Elder Scroll. I guess it'd be scimitars. I want some more
scimitar.
fleshed out scimitar combat. Can we get
Curved
some like?
swords.
Oh yeah,
Curved swords.
I'm
Nerevar.
a big proponent. They've got curved swords.
Oh god, you want to be even ridiculous though? You're like, okay, I'm gonna experience Hammerfell. It's gonna be amazing and stuff like that. And then you go, do you go to the Cloud District very often?
So, jumping off that, I actually hope they have a more unscrupulous mages guild than Morrowind was. I feel like in Hammerfell, maybe, like, I don't know. I just feel like it would be a nice dichotomy to have, like, a super pompous, like, regal, noble fighters guild, and then for the, mages guild to be just, like, this, like, underground, like, real, not necessarily like assassinations and stuff, but, like, really shady business going on in the magic guild.
Bring back
we get
levitation.
like a. Oh man, they should bring back levitation. That was the biggest mistake in all of Elder Scrolls. I also prefer the way that they did the magic categorization in Oblivion.
Technically, with levitation back and Skooma, you can have two Khajiit and the White Bow Towers, as they got.
Imagine.
Do you remember that, Connor?
No. What do you mean?
Not the new video by what's it called? What's his face? Dagoth Slur. The two White Gold Towers.
Oh, yeah. That was yeah. I remember that.
Man, that was peak. I don't know. His humor is dark, but it's just
DS is really underappreciated. I feel like he should have more subscribers than he does. His content's very solid.
For some reason, YouTube is kind of sometimes suppresses some channels and some doesn't. Like, I don't know why, but like it's.
Bro's got slur in his name. I'll tell you that's why.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's an S tier joke, but.
By the way, good. I always was thinking of giving a name to our audience because it's like Zake and Zach, right? So this was before everything. Indoril, you kind of know the context before everything happens. So I was gonna call like what's it called? Like our viewers, like I don't know. I decided not to go with any names at this point, but for an audience, but it was about in best practices. So I was thinking of just calling our audience the Z team.
Z team.
Good thing I didn't do that. Good thing I didn't do that. Like something was like, no man, I'll procrastinate on naming my audience. And good thing I didn't name them that. You know why? Because what happens with with all the politicking around the world. So I'm like, okay, no. So Zake and Zach is kind of also an unfortunate name right now because of the letter Z. Anyhow,
I still think it's cool.
Yeah. Honestly, hopefully they see how big Dagoth got and they actually promote Dagoth in the next context, or at least maybe imagine if the Netflix series is actually going to be about Dagoth and Morrowind, because that would be a video.
Morrowind is oh man.
If they actually,
I agree.
They make Morrowind, I feel like that's gonna be one of the most unique fantasy settings. It's gonna just make everyone instead of seeing your regular medieval stuff that you see in all fantasy, in The Witcher, in Dragon's Dogma, or whatever the stuff that they made. I feel imagine them being in Seydenine and this is a regular fantasy series, and then they go out and it's bro, have you seen all those mushrooms in Morrowind, man? It's gonna be such a trippy show for people.
I think that they could do really easily At least I'm a fan of this format. Is I think they can do anthologies for Elder Scrolls.
That could be great.
So think like Love, Death, and Robots. If you have either of you guys seen that?
Yes, I have seen that.
Love, Death, and Robots?
It's good.
Yeah, imagine that,
Or
but
Black
it's Elder
Mirror.
Scrolls.
Oh, I haven't
Or
seen
like
either
Black
of those.
Panther. You should watch Love, Death, and Robots.
Yes, it's pretty good.
That's a must watch for me if you have Netflix. But an anthology series, sort of like short little one-offs. Oh, have you seen the Star Wars one-off on Disney or the Marvel ones even?
The Star Wars one-off?
There's a name for the show. I don't remember it though.
But Mandalorian?
No, it's all right, I'll hit it with a Google search. Do you have Disney Plus? If you don't, then this is a totally worthless thing to even bring up.
I'm going through Loki season 2.
Someone says that's actually an awesome.
It's pretty wild.
Lonely also says that's actually an awesome format for the Elder Scrolls. Also, Star Wars Visions.
Yes, it's Star Wars Visions. Yeah, Star Wars Visions. Thank you. Star Wars Visions. It'd be like that for Elder Scrolls. They could tell so many stories. We can get so many things in Morrowind. I'd love to see the story of Nerevar, and they could animate it to where it does a break, a dragon break, and it gives you multiple different endings for it. Even I would love to see stuff like that. You can see we can get an animation of Boethia swallowing Malekith,
or an Elder Scrolls anime,
or Trinimac. Elder Scrolls anime, man. There's so many things that you can do with it. And you can even just tell little stories here's the story of, Oakzar, the orc fighter. Jew. When are we gonna get Saint
I'm gonna have Saint Jude return in by the way, I didn't when I played apparently what's it called? I played Skyrim the first time, the Dragonborn DLC. I didn't realize that guy was Jube. Had I realized that was Jube, I would have freaked out. In the very first time.
Dank JFK just said something. He said,
Dank JFK.
This is about the combat thing. Is have different fighting styles for sword combat. I want that really bad.
Yeah,
they're not going to do that though. There's no way they'll do that.
I mean, the mods work, and what's his face the thing does a good job. Elden Ring does a good job. Do you think? So this is a really messed up thing.
Yeah.
Do you think we're gonna get an Elden Ring quality game kind of combat and all that stuff, or no? For Elder Scrolls 6.
I don't know what Connor thinks on this, but my opinion is I think that the Elder Scrolls combat has, at least in my opinion, almost never been exceptionally good. I'm not a huge fan of it, and it's very hack and slashy. There's not a lot of finesse to it, and so it would be a real step out of the box for Bethesda to add in actual martial arts into the game, any kind of variation. But man, Elden Ring, Dark Souls style, weapon arts with your weapons, that would be a superb step forward in my opinion.
I agree. I think I'm usually not going to disagree with making combat more complex, especially if it involves point dumping into a specific type of weapon and a specific type of style. That's one thing I hope they bring back in 6 is monks, unarmored and unarmed. I really hope they bring that back because you can see the beginnings of it in the perk tree of the heavy armor where when you punch it does the base armor that you're wearing in damage.
I for one cannot wait to
then that's it. That's the only hand-to-hand combat reference other than the Khajiit clause, which is a lie. It says it gives you plus 15. It only gives you plus 12 for some reason. And then in 11 years, they haven't changed the description or fixed it.
Yes. Also, the other thing someone says in the chat, Trickstar, that's actually funny. I, for one, cannot wait to side with the sixth house to take Cincinnati for Dagoth.
It'll be a better city for it.
Me too, brother. Me too.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Sixth house, Horus or Ohio?
That's a good question. I would wager to say that Ohio is probably already the closest thing we have in reality to a sixth house controlled area.
Yes. good
So I don't
points.
think much would change there.
I actually went to a wedding there. I can confirm. I know why it's such a really strange place. What else? Yeah, another.
I love that. I love that Elder Scrolls Ohio so much.
Oh man. Well, I'm telling you though, like I feel like procedural. I think they might actually procedurally generate some stuff as well. Like I'm telling you, AI is gonna like it's already like crazy. I think it's gonna be even crazier by the time ES6 comes out. Plus, I wonder what kind of VR equipment we're going to have. Like imagine
Ooh.
if it allows you to actually like fight however you want. Because the VR stuff is already crazy with Skyrim. You can like throw people, you can break stuff, you can punch things. You can grab people by the
Yeah.
Trusty. I am Trusty. This is one of the best.
Well, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yes, I am.
But that game has superb sword combat in it, and they've got things like maces and pollexes and warhammers, things like that too. But I think that a directional combat system like that and you could make it a lot simpler than Kingdom Come, but a directional combat system would add a bunch of depth based on like even just what we already have.
I already had the directional combat mod. It's pretty good for Skyrim.
Oh yeah.
So, by the way, Connor, what do you think of the idea? The Elder Scrolls 6, Pelennor returns from Florida.
Yeah, I saw that one. I was going to comment, but I didn't want to interrupt Indoril. That's hilarious. As a Floridian, I believe it.
However, question, and this is like what makes it important though. Do you think the Kalpa is ending? Because Todd Howard is leaving, aka he's the Godhead, and that's why we're getting a new Godhead, a new Kalpa.
Do I think that's the reason? No. I think they probably planned for this next one to be the end of the Kalpa regardless.
We're getting either our
It
worst
could
ones.
be. Well, it could be the other way around, where Todd Howard had planned for all of this, and he was like, "Yeah, I planned all of this, and I decided I'm going to leave after."
And then you guys can start
Yeah.
stuff from scratch.
Yeah. I just can't wait for Michael Kirkbride to become the new Godhead. Hired as CEO. Wow.
Or Pete Hines. Maybe.
It's not going to be Michael Kirkbride. It's anybody. It's going to be anybody else.
Man.
I wonder if we can
Kirkbride is like...
Hey, if you guys want to talk to Kirkbride and get him on our podcast, I mean... I mean, I can try, but like you guys could also try for me.
Let me give him a phone call.
Yeah, let me just text him real quick. Hold on, I got his number on speed dial.
Email.
Is he on any social media?
Yes.
Because
I
will.
Here comes email. It sounds here comes email. Someone might actually send us his email. Please don't send it in.
If
Please
I
don't
could,
send it in the group in the YouTube chat. Do not send it in the YouTube chat. Do not dox them.
that's a. Oh man, yeah, that would be an incredible podcast.
Yeah, I'm also curious, like because he does talk to Elder Scrolls chats. I've seen him talk to other chats, so might be willing to talk to us.
He does. I love Kirkbride so much.
Yeah, he's great. He's really great. He's a fantastic creative mind, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I
think most of the. Oh yeah. Well, there's so much of the things that so many of the things I should say that make Elder Scrolls unique came out of Kirkbride's head.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Imagine if like we actually get to go to the moon in Elder Scrolls 6. To like Master.
I think in ESO one of the Khajiit related things is going to the Dark Moon, which is heavily implied to be Lorkhan's rotting body, which might be the kernel of truth in the myth that Master and Secunda are Lorkhan's body ripped apart,
Elder Scrolls 7,
which I never believed.
Finding your kid. Okay, Elder Scrolls 8. Going out for milk.
Yeah, going to the store for cigarettes, be back later.
Going to the store
Can we get a... That's a... I mean, I could see the reverse in an Elder Scrolls game is you're looking for your dad after he went out to buy cigarettes and you stumble into the middle of a civil war.
Classic.
Or you're fleeing your responsibilities as a father and you join the Thalmor.
And then become a daddy to a Thalmor baby.
Then you have to flee the Thalmor. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, just, you know.
Alright, so, but if we could get Kirkbride here, we could do a part 2 of this and, like, actually, like, understand what his ideas would be for the next Elder Scrolls 6 game.
Oh man, I don't even know if he would be allowed to, like, make an official comment on that.
I mean, he's not involved in Elder Scrolls anymore, so... Like, what is his idea?
True,
They're gonna send an assassin after him.
Yeah.
They're gonna call the Dark Brotherhood on him.
Speaking of the Dark Brotherhood, do you think it's going to return in Elder Scrolls 6? I have a feeling it will because...
Yes, it will.
I bet it will.
Because
it's one of the more praised plot lines. Even in Skyrim, it was pretty, you know, quote-unquote unique.
Bethesda's going to continue it.
Well, I think... Well, we can only hope. I think that it would be interesting for them to do something else aside from that. Like, I don't know what they do at all, but I think it would be interesting for them to do something else. But I also do want to see more Dark Brotherhood. Just so we can get 3 games in a row where we see the Dark Brotherhood just totally crumbling on itself.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I was just about to say if it's in the Middle East, when are we're gonna get like Altair as the leader of the Dark Brotherhood?
No, like a spin-off of like what's it called? If Microsoft buys Ubisoft.
Oh man, a Dark Brotherhood style, like a Dark Brotherhood Assassin's Creed style game with a like OG Assassin's Creed would be so great.
Yes. Man, I remember
Lonely Ocean says, talking about Lorkhan gets me all soul-searchy and weird. Yeah, there's a reason why Boethia is my favorite Daedric Prince, and that's because they are canonically stating that they loved Lorkhan and was so pissed that Trinimac betrayed him that they decided to just go ahead and do what they did to Trinimac, which is entirely deserved in my opinion.
So...
Oh yeah.
Imagine if Trinimac is actually the plot in the game.
I don't know that Trinimac can ever return. I think he's just fundamentally altered at this point.
Well, there's the idea that the Elder Scrolls gods take an incarnation based upon belief, right? That's the idea behind like Akatosh and
Oh
whatnot.
Lord,
Or
the
at least,
Akka Oversoul.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
exactly. Those kinds of things. I could totally see, especially if we're gonna get like Orc Protagonist and an Orsinium DLC. I could totally see like a cult of orcs who don't want to worship Malakath and are trying to,
there's no cult of orcs
bring
that
back.
Trinimac. They think that they're more exalted
Yeah,
than
that's
the
already
elves.
a thing. Yeah, exactly. Just have a Trinimac worship cult who are
That might
trying
be a
to,
DLC or the main quest, but imagine if it like
But
has something to do with disabling the tower. Go ahead. Yes.
would that apply to Malakath though? Now that he's in a plane of oblivion, after all, we
That's
know
a-
that the fundamental existence of the Dwemer didn't go outside of Mundus based on the last dwarf we see in Morrowind, who specifically says, "Oh yeah, I wasn't in Mundus at the time, so I have no idea."
Okay, another.
Yeah, I mean, well, thinking. Oh no, you go.
I'm sorry. Another base claim. What if the instead of like the Kalpa ending, the High Elves just disappear like the Dwemer as they try to disable the last tower?
That I could
And
see that
everyone
being like
would
an
be
ending.
better off because of it.
I could totally see that being an ending that they add in though. You mess with their ritual or whatever, and they just get Dwemer snapped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like with the, I mean, like going back to the Trinimac thing too. Like, I think that if you're gonna do something like that, you could almost pull a Shivering Isles DLC and make it to where these orcs are trying to say coax Malakath into the Mundus and
Ooh.
force him to mantle Trinimac.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
So they're like trying to like, get him to submit into mantling Trinimac again so that they can have their non-poop god back.
Yeah, I really like. I think that would be a great
the
great side faction.
The great unpooping, reverse diarrhea.
And
great
demonetized.
unpooping.
I don't think we are.
Ah, man.
I
No.
think diarrhea.
The
Not
great
this far in.
unpooping.
Do we think we'll
Poop
see
Malakath.
Jiggalag in Elder Scrolls 6?
I hope so. I feel like it was such a waste that we didn't get any Jiggalag in Skyrim until
I agree.
enhanced. We got the Sword of Jiggalag later, but that was kind of not.
We're only gonna see Jiggalag with jiggle mechanics from Laura's lab. That's it.
Lonely
Can you
Ocean.
imagine?
I usually try to call him Shorecon, simply because he's both Shore and Lorecon. And Shorecon kind of sounds funny to me.
No, that's a good name.
Shorecon, that is good actually.
I'm wondering, there are theories that it may be that Shorecon actually may reappear in Elder Scrolls 6. I'm pretty sure they're unfounded, but that would be nice to see the missing god like finally become whole again. Although that is lore-wise, that's unlikely to happen because he's kind of cursed to reincarnate as a Shezzarine.
Well, that's
Although again, according to the lore, there's only been one Shezzarine that is canonically known as the Shezzarine, and that was Pelinal.
So do we want to? Have you actually? Yeah, I don't know who I'm talking to here. Connor, you've surely heard of the whole theory about Dragonborn being a Shezzarine, right?
Yes, I have. I'm not into. Well, first of all, I don't even think that. I think there are two versions of a Dragonborn. I think there's Dov Akin, which is what you play in Skyrim, and I am under the position that it's a 3-letter word, Dragon Hunterborn, because Odaving, the there means hunter, as opposed to someone like Alicia, who was almost assuredly not a Dovahkiin, but is a Dragonborn.
So you think maybe that's like Dovahkiin?
Right. I think
Sure.
that at least in my mind, it does not make sense to retroactively apply, like, especially since Elysia is considered the kind of the first. Well, I guess Mirac is now the first dragonborn, as in Dovahkiin, but the fact that they refer to Elysia as a dragonborn, and I don't see it compatible with like if dragons had returned, she'd be able to shout and steal their souls.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
You gotta have
I
the
am of
souls to
the
shout,
firm.
right?
I am of the firm opinion that Dovahkiin is different from Dovahkiin.
That would be a great distinction for them to make, because as it stands, it makes no sense. You're right.
Yeah, it just doesn't add up. But if you look at it as, oh, Dovahkiin is dragon hunter born, as opposed to dragonborn or Dovahkiin as in the title or the kind of
The lineage.
yeah, the lineage, exactly, precisely that.
Yeah. Well, I think that if they were gonna do anything like Shore returning, it would be through some Shezzarine stuff.
Yeah,
Is ultimately what I was thinking. Is like, if they were gonna do that, then they could make the the Dragonborn or whatever be this Shezzarine return of Shore. But I highly doubt that they'll do that.
We'll see. I know, like it's you.
I hope they keep the factions in Hammerfell. I think they're called the Crowns and the. Oh, what was the other one? It's the Crowns and the.
Some bears. What kind of bears?
There's two factions. There's. Okay, yeah, the Forebears. Yeah, exactly. The Crowns and the Forebears. I'm hoping they don't do what they did in Oblivion and just be like, oh yeah, Colovian Imperial versus the other kind. No. They're just all Imperials. It's the same culture. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
We had some nuance, and then you decided to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an overall problem with Bethesda in general, in my opinion. They keep simplifying things. I really feel like they should go back to nuance and complexity over,
simplification. Yeah.
I have 200 dungeons that I'm gonna scatter across the world, like.
And their dungeons are not that great. I'm sorry, but I played better modded dungeons than.
All right, well, I think
Bethesda.
we pretty much covered everything that we could talk about this without any, more other than a trailer and some vague hints as to what might be coming.
I'm gonna send you something. Apparently, so we might have a something in our Discord that is that's a very interesting. Hold on, let me send it to you. I guess we'll have to be Detective Dagoth soon. Let's just say that. I can tell you guys off stream, but and Connor, you'll get this message. But hold on, I sent it to you. Anyhow, yes. What else are we thinking for ES6?
Somebody asked earlier what kind of dimensions, like Daedric planes, that we thought were going to be in there.
Say that again.
Somebody asked about Daedric realms in Elder Scrolls 6 earlier, like much earlier.
Earlier than what? What do you mean?
Like it's far back in chat.
Oh,
What did they ask about it?
Daedric realms in Elder Scrolls 6.
Ooh,
Daedric
Malcolm.
plains. Oblivion.
I hope that they do better than Oblivion did, where it was just like it was
Everything.
just all Mayron's take on.
Okay, guys.
Uh,
This is actually very important. Like you're correct, Connor, about the whole So, do you think that Elder Scrolls, especially Oblivion and Skyrim, if they didn't have all this like interesting lore behind it, do you think they actually might not have been such good games?
if I didn't
Do you
think they
mean, like-
had, yeah, go ahead.
Well, do you mean like, do we think that Elder Scrolls would have been successful if the lore wasn't so interesting?
Yes.
Yes, I think it would actually. It wouldn't have grabbed me as hard.
Well, I think that it's successful because early on, things like Daggerfall and Morrowind were pretty revolutionary in the RPG sphere.
Yes.
And so was Oblivion, and to an extent also so was Skyrim. So I think that it's Bethesda's ingenuity with the game that sort of draws people in initially, and the thing that lets you become further engrossed into the Elder Scrolls is the fact that they have these revolutionary games, and on top of that, the lore is superbly well written.
Yeah, the lore. Yeah, I mean, like, as my title suggests, the main shtick for me was the lore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think like any of us would be like as into Elder Scrolls without the great lore.
Yeah, I agree. That said, I think they are decent games on their own. I mean, Morrowind's very dated, Oblivion's very potato. And
Back in the day, though.
Well, back in the day, yeah, definitely they were ahead of their time.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, or like I always say, Skyrim is like an 8 as a standalone game, but as far as a test game goes, I think it's a solid 5. It's not that impressive.
It could have been impressive.
Well, I think
That's the thing.
they kind of like making things more generic. Like somebody also said in chat earlier, the thing about Cyrodiil being a jungle and them scrapping that.
Yeah, they were like, no, when Talos ascended, he saw that his people hated living in a jungle, so he made it a coniferous forest. It's like, okay.
Roman Imperial jungle would have been way cooler.
Yeah.
That would have been so much more unique. And I think that like Morrowind is so unique in its setting. Skyrim also had, a lot of unique features about it with the children of Kine, and the original lore behind the Thum before it became dragon. Not that dragon shouts aren't awesome, but I think that the original lore was more creative.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there.
What was the original lore?
Yeah, I wish that the Imperials had been more Romanized instead of Eastern European.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm sorry, not Eastern, Western European. My mistake. I got directions.
When are we gonna get the Eastern Europeans in Elder Scrolls?
Yeah.
Can you imagine like the Nibonese being like Slavic Nibonese?
Oh god.
Would have been cool.
I think
that'd be so
the closest
great.
to Eastern European we have is Skyrim. Like I know they're Northern European, but
yeah, for sure. It's definitely Skyrim's like the closest, but I would kill to see some Cossack action in Elder Scrolls. That'd be so
man,
great.
Cossack the Undying, or what is his title? I've heard a few of the I listen to a mythology podcast called Myths and Legends, and I've heard quite a few Slavic ones.
It's
Cossack is
so
yeah.
I would they could do some crazy vampire stuff. I'm surprised they didn't do more Eastern European stuff with vampires in Skyrim too. because that's kind of the whole
you know,
derivation
kinda,
of it.
yeah, exactly. That's
As
kind
a
of their
Polak, someone says
their origin.
As a Polak, I crave this.
Oh yeah, I man, I would love that. But if they did like Roman jungle, that would have been so much more interesting. If they Zake, you asked about the original lore behind the Breath of Kine, and we've interestingly enough, we've got a lore speaker here.
We do. I'm not sure. I'm really on the fence between whether humans originated in Atmora or humans originated at Skyrim. Because if humans originated on the Throat of the World, created by Kine, that would mean that they would have had to be needs, which migrated south and then
north.
also migrated north and didn't leave any settlements, and then came back hundreds of years later as Nords, and then got slaughtered, and then Wuthrod. No, that's the name of his axe.
You're thinking of
Ysgramor!
Oh my god. Thinking of
Ysgramor. Thank you, yes.
Ysgramor, our father.
Ysgramor goes back to Atmora and then comes back to Skyrim again and slaughters the snow. I'm not sure which of those.
I mean,
I guess if I had to use, Occam's razor here, the simplest solution would be humans originated in Atmora, traveled down to Skyrim, diversified into Cyrodiil, got taken as slaves by the Ayleids, and then the Nords kind of did their own thing. And then... But even that doesn't make sense because we don't have Nordic settlements outside of... prior to the Thalmor... and when I say Thalmor, I mean the actual snow elves. Genocided Sarthal. As far as the lore, I'm pretty sure Sarthal is quote-unquote the first human city in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Which, again, doesn't really make sense if they came from the Throat of the World. But then the next question is, where did the needs come from?
Well, it's all ancient history now.
Yeah, very ancient. Especially when you consider the Middle Dawn lasted 2,000 years.
But the original lore that they had behind the Nords, or at least the Nordic idea, was that they were, spewed into the world from the breath of Kine on the Throat of the World, and blessed with the Thu'um. So they could do Kine talk, I guess, and summon storms and shout down walls.
Do we have?
But now the dragons taught it to them.
Do we have evidence though
that's the case?
No, that there were some. There's no archaeological. So if there wasn't archaeological evidence, yes, I would have believed the theory that humans came from the Throat of the World. But do we have archaeological evidence even in the Second Era, for example, ESO? Does anyone look for that?
I haven't played ESO.
You haven't played ESO?
No, unfortunately not. I'm not a huge.
It's not awesome, but
I'm thinking.
I'm not a huge fan of.
I'm thinking of doing ESO live streams soon because viewership is down anyway, so we can actually experiment with stuff, and these streams are actually bringing viewership, so this is good.
Well, I play ESO a little bit only because it has more Elder Scrolls, and I need that.
Yeah,
but a lot of it is really bad.
How bad are we talking?
Yeah. What do you mean?
It's so bad that he's working on Skywind, right?
It's so bad that Skywind and Sky Oblivion are the biggest hope that we have. Well, the thing with the ESO is that the main stuff that they do is not awful. Like the main stories, they've got some really cool stuff about like vampires in the Dark Heart of Skyrim. The most recent expansion is all on Apocrypha, and they added a new class in the game where you can be like a Hermeus Mora cultist wizard guy.
That's pretty fun.
Which is really cool. They've got a lot of really good stuff in ESO. Enough that I think it like redeems it as a game. I don't really like MMORPG style games though.
Yeah, I've never been a fan.
In my opinion, they should have just made it like Skyrim Online and made it work like Fallout 76 does, except for its Elder Scrolls.
Well, hopefully better than Fallout 76 did.
Better at launch, hopefully, but it's better now. I think it's actually not bad now. At least like last time I played it, which to be fair was a little while ago. I had a whole lot of fun playing it. When it came out though, it definitely trash.
I see.
Yeah,
But,
I can't. I'm a sword and board guy. I don't like micromanaging ammo and all that. So Fallout was never really my shtick.
Oh,
sure. Well, like
I'm laughing at the whole thing. Imagine like if Fallout 76 styles. Okay, that's gonna be ESO too. That's what I was talking about. This is definitely not the last Elder Scrolls games, because we're definitely getting like an Elder Scrolls Online 2 that might actually be like Fallout 76.
See, that would be great, because I think the game should have just played like a normal Elder Scrolls game, but they should have made it online. That would have been my preference, at least. I do think though, Elder Scrolls Online is worth a play if you really want some Elder Scrolls stuff. But they've got stuff in there like the mounts are really silly. Like they've got like flame Atronach lions that have lore behind them, where it's like this king from Hammerfell rode a flame Atronach lion, and now you can get it for, $19.95 in the Crown store. And it's very shamelessly like a pretty awful like a cash grab in a lot of things. But some of the stuff they write is pretty cool. They've got a storyline in one of them. I play it every time a Morrowind DLC comes out, and then I play all the Morrowind stuff, which is all pretty good in my opinion.
I find it really funny that like I started in Morrowind as well in the game I'm playing. I like how you get to see Vivek like 2 quests in, and I'm just like, wow. Vivek used to be like really, really chill with people visiting him, because by the time of Morrowind, it's like you got to jump through some hoops to get an audience with him.
Yeah, he like calls you up too all the time. He's like, yes, Outlander, I'm Vivek, and he, you get like his blessings and stuff. It's crazy.
Sotha still appears in that, right?
Yes, he does.
He's in the follow-up. He's in the Clockwork City. You get to do expansion. You get to actually all Malexia is in the base game. But you get to do you get to do some really good quests in like the Morrowind stuff, and I liked their Skyrim stuff too. The High Rock and Hammerfell stuff. ESO is not terrible if you're doing it for like story reasons only and not for gameplay.
Yeah, I'm wanting to
then
do it for
it's
story
pretty
reasons. Good. I actually want to solo it, and that's it. Can you actually like solo it without like what's it called?
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Can you actually like get companions?
Especially if you're streaming it, you can get companions.
I mean, Connor, can like people join? Like Connor and I were thinking of like what's it called, like doing it together, but at the same time, I know how it would be coordinating time-wise. That's my issue, but because
sure.
as you know, Indoril, because being from the same professions, not doxing us, but being from the same professions,
sure.
in the profession that is outside of YouTube, it can get really murky sometimes, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of busy times that pop up randomly too.
Yeah.
But I think that like if you wanted to, like, listen, if you whatever you get on, whatever you do ESO on, I'm down. I'll play it with you.
Nice.
That's for sure. But
Connor,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's one of
I
those
can
games,
join
like-
in
Nice. Let's do
Do
if
you
we
guys
can get
ever
the
play-
times figured out.
have you guys played any like MMOs? like,
only dabble
ever?
in them.
Yeah, I
Lineage.
did RuneScape for a while back when it was like really, really new. And then I occasionally hopped back in from time to time. Tried a little World of
Yeah.
Warcraft. It was kind of not my thing.
Yeah, well, like if you're ESO is a lot more fun to play with buddies, and especially like if you're streaming it, chat interactions are probably a lot more fun too. So like if I was you, I would do like maybe a playthrough of the main story of an area, because every area in Elder Scrolls Online had the main story to it, and they kind of tie into other main stories pretty well, actually, in my opinion. But you could do like a playthrough of the main stories on your game, and then if you wanted to like bring in like Connor or somebody, like you can be like, hey, let's go do a dungeon, or let's go do one of the big raids or something, or like, you know, hop into this story with me or whatever.
Yeah, I'm down.
We could also like do a what's it called? Sometimes if it's like boring stuff, we could actually like have ESO in the background as we do lore stuff.
I will say it would be a good background kind of thing while you talk about lore. That's actually, if you were going to, that'd be a good like a podcast background is ESO.
That's true. We could try that.
Yes.
Also, just as a side note, if you start ESO right now, I think that Miroc's Sword is available in the Crown Shop because they released Daedric artifacts on like special events every year. Oh wait, it might be past. I think it might be an October thing. I don't know, or maybe it's March. I don't know. I've never bought one, but they release the Daedric artifacts all the time in like the store that you can put as like skins on weapons. And I think they've got an artifact in there that is from Morrowind. I could be wrong.
Yeah, we could do that. That's really perfect. It kind of kills two birds with one stone. I won't have to stream ESO separately.
Yeah, we could do that. I'm down.
Plus, I need to do that because like the people have been asking Dagoth to do some ESO content. That's the thing. Maybe Nerevar, you could help me out with the ESO content too, but because
Hey,
my
man,
ESO lore is just.
All right.
I know life ESO pretty hard. We can do an exploit and get you to max level in like 3 hours.
Oh!
I think we've hit the end because there's not much Elder Scrolls 6 conversations anymore.
Yeah, because the Elder Scrolls 6 is basically
podcast now.
Yeah, the ESO podcast. So we got some good ideas out there. We got some crazy theories. Indoril will be joining us from time to time. I'm not sure how often.
By the way, SHDU is saying like it'll be the last time if it ever comes out. Elder Scrolls 6, they're saying.
I think it probably will be. Honestly.
Yeah. We'll see. All right.
Get your hands on it, Microsoft. Do better.
Good conversations today. Guys, just smash that like button. Not just smash it, just smash it. Make it so that like the likes are just rating. You know? And then comment once this video is posted so we could continue, and only if you are able to donate. Oh yeah, and then join the Discord server. But the most important things are the likes and the subscriptions. Correct?
And remember that if you guys have any suggestions or improvements that we could possibly make, hit us up. We're not gonna, hound you.
And we might actually put the next topic for the vote because I don't know what the next topic. Oh no, actually we know. Are you gonna be available, Indoril? Question. Next Friday.
Next Friday? Yeah, I think so.
36 lessons. Sermons.
Oh, I'm
Oh well, that ain't gonna.
absolutely.
That's gonna be
I'm
a
totally down.
multi-part
Oh
series.
boy.
But
I'm good
yes,
for it.
at
Yeah.
least book 1. Probably more, but at least book 1.
All right.
That's gonna be superb.
Perfect then. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Six Tiles Podcast.